Well, hi, everybody. Well, this is the last week of school. Now, I promise you folks that I'm going to actually be making different treats that the kids are absolutely going to love. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to make muffins with a treat on top, chocolate frosting. It's delicious and yummy. And I used to bring that to school, with me to the school when they had the end of the year hurrahs, I used to call it. I'm adding in 2 cups of flour. You want to make sure it's made from scratch. The frosting is a different situation. I'm lazy. What are you going to do? I'm in a rush. I have to get this to my child's school. You know how it goes. You know. Here we go. I'm now adding in a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Let me check the butter, because we don't want to have any burnt butter. I also have to grease my pan, which I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm adding in a 1/4 cup of sugar. Yeah, I remember those days when my kids had school, and the last week was the school, parties, everything you can think of. Sorry about that. I should have showed you what I was doing. All right, now I'm adding in my baking powder. I'm adding in 3 teaspoons of baking powder. You want to make sure you have that baking powder in there, folks, because the muffins are not going to rise without it. Just have to find it. Here we go. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. It's really a delicious treat. You know, the kids have these parties always at the end of the year. Tons of stuff. Grade school kids as well as high school kids, you know. You don't add the baking powder, you're going to end up with something called scones. We're not making scones today, folks. Believe me, we're not. Now I'm going to mix it together, and then I'm going to go to the next step. Here we go. I got to hold my phone up. I think this is a little bit better than how long it's going to last. But hey, it'll last for a while, folks. That's all I can tell you. Let me grab a spoon. Just got to grab my magic spoon. Come on now. You want to make sure the spoon is clean, because sometimes, you know, sometime down the road, I'm going to tell you how to clean your utensils. What you do is when you have a dirty spoon, you always add on soap, and you put it on a boiling hot water, and you make sure everything is off of it. Because believe me, my grandmother is funny about dirty utensils. She used to tell me this, she used to say, Debbie, you can't use that spoon, it's dirty. And I don't blame her. Now see, I'm cleaning, so sometime down the road, I'm definitely going to have a lesson in cleaning up utensils. It's very important to keep them clean at all times. It's fun. They always have to shine. In fact, in my day, we used to do cleaning the silver day, and I'm going to get to that down the road, what we did and what the food was we had for that as well. Okay, now, the next step I have to do is add in my milk. 1 cup of milk. Where's the milk? Oh, here it is. Now I'm going to get ready to grease the pan. The oven's ready to go, see? Yeah, perfect. 1 cup of milk. Now, where is my egg? Well, keep your egg at refrigerator temperature at all times. It's very important. 1 egg. Here we go. 3 tablespoons of butter. Then we got to grease the pan. That's going to take me about a minute to do that. I'm going to start dipping a little bit of butter into the pan as well. Just a little bit. We can start the greasing process going. Here we go. Okay. Okay. When I grease my pan, folks, I like to use butter. But you can use anything you want to use when you grease your pan. Here we go. Nice melted butter. Because you want to make sure, folks, that it doesn't stick to anything. So the muffin can stick like a cake can stick. And we just can't put parchment paper in a muffin tin. I suppose you could, but it's very difficult, folks. Here we go. You want to make sure it's totally greased, folks. You really do. Here we go. Put a couple muffin tins, and here we go. Now we're going to mix. I want to make sure everything is mixed together. And make sure I find my magical ice cream scooper. Where is it? Here it is. Make sure the ice cream scooper is clean. It looks clean, but you know what? I'm going to probably wash it because Grandma Elizabeth will have her say, Debbie, wash that ice cream scooper. And I sure will in a minute. Okay, it looks a little bit dry, so I'm going to add the remaining milk in here. A little bit of milk, that's it. There, you want the batter loose when you make muffins, especially for children. They look so excited about the last day of school. A lot of stuff we'll be doing this summer, some more summer stuff, obviously. Okay, now what I want to do now is grab my muffin tin, grab my ice cream scooper, make sure it's clean, run it under hot water. There's nothing on it, but just to be safe, we're running under hot water. Here we go. You know, I'm going to show you a lesson. I taught you about silver cleaning. My grandmother and I spent a whole day silver cleaning many years ago. Those were the good old days. Let me tell you something, folks. I remember those days like it was yesterday. And here we go. Use an ice cream scooper. Here we go. Now make sure it's almost up to the brim. You don't want to have small muffins. All kinds of wonderful delights. I'm going to show you the next day or so what I used to send with my kids to school. Sometimes I would go to their events, you know, depending on what it was, you know. Here we go. How many muffins we have, it all depends on how much batter I put in each muffin tin. Here we go. Muffin holder, here we go. Yeah, I remember those days. Even when I was in school, we used to have end of the year school parties. Oh, yes. My dad had to work, so he couldn't come to most school stuff. Well, he had to make a living. What are you going to do, folks? You know, he has to make money. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to fill up my bowl with hot water to wash everything off, put everything in here, folks. Here we go. Let's put this into the oven and bake this with 375 for about 20 minutes. Okay? 20 minutes. Gotta get myself dry. I just gotta dry my hands, folks. I know it's still filming. Back again. Okay. Now we're going to do the finishing touches on the muffin. The phone's in a better position today. I have it a little bit higher up, so it really helps. Here we go. Now the finishing touch, folks. Oh, this is going to be delicious. I'm putting chocolate frosting over the muffins. Kids used to love this. But please, folks, don't keep it outside on, because you know what happens with chocolate. Chocolate melts. You know that. I'll use this chocolate more for tomorrow. I'll make something special tomorrow as well. Don't ever throw anything out just because you use it, because sometimes it's not done with, folks, and, you know. Oh, come on, Debbie. See how clumsy Debbie is? I always refer to myself as Debbie the Dumpsy, or Debbie the Doodle. Yeah, the last day of school is so much fun. So even for the parents, we have a lot of fun making different stuff that I normally don't make any other time of the year. This is the one thing I definitely remember making is chocolate muffins. Plain muffins with chocolate frosting on it. Oh, I'm not with it today. I had 4 children who went through school. I miss those good old days of school. I used to, you know, I didn't like it at the time, but now I'm thinking about it. Oh, I used to love school. The plays I did. I took a lot of culinary as well, especially when I got into college. But yeah, the last day of school, the end of the school year, this is what we did. A lot of different kinds of things. So we had to bring stuff in. Here we go. This one tipped over a little bit. It happens. Almost done. I would use milk chocolate on the muffin. Tomorrow I'm going to make something else. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's going to have something to do with the end of the year, obviously, for school. Okay, one more. Oh, it smells delicious, folks. These muffins are actually homemade, folks. Did you know that? I actually made it from scratch. Yeah, I did it before, obviously. And here we go. Put this one down here. Now I gotta get the chocolate off my hands. Then we're gonna. Okay. I would recommend use milk chocolate frosting. Get over here. Use milk chocolate frosting. Look how beautiful that muffin is. It looks so delicious and so yummy. And I used to make about 20. I would say make not 25, but 45 muffins with chocolate frosting on, and the kids loved it in my kids' classes and everything. So here we have plain muffins with milk chocolate frosting on it for the end of the school year. Deborah, Tom Country Kitchen, have a great day.